Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome to today's episode of 49 Faithfully. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis. TL, what's up, bro?
Nothing much, sis. Same old. Excited. 49er football's back tomorrow. Got training camp starting, and I can't wait to get into it. I'm just praying for, a smooth training camp with no injuries. That's all
Yeah,
I'm hoping for. Yeah.
hopefully. I mean, we made it. I think that last year by this time we already had injuries, I believe. So at least
Yeah.
we're doing good so far.
Yeah. I was like,
But yeah,
yeah.
training camps starting. It's crazy. It seemed like what a month ago or whenever we were talking about. Oh, it's the slow time in football. It's going to take so long, and we're
Yeah.
already here. So,
Yeah.
um, training camps coming tomorrow. That Kyle and John they meet with the media and they'll dodge questions about Jimmy G and all that fun stuff. And then Wednesday training camp starts. Debo, however, is still not no word on the contract. I seen a post I think yesterday that said there's no like it doesn't even look like contract talks like there's a resolution near or anything. So um before the whole Debo drama started, there was Kyler, right, with the
Hmm.
Cardinals. He's the first one that had this season. It started with him scrubbing his social media and that whole thing. And then shortly after, Debo did the same. We seen the Cardinals make it official today that they did re-sign and extend Kyler Murray. Um, and yet we're having training camp start and Debo is not under contract. Do you think by Wednesday we get a contract extension? If not, does Debo even show up? Do we see Debo participate? What's the future look like right now with Debo Samuel?
I don't see a contract extension being done before Wednesday. I think it's just way too soon, unless there's something that goes on where they're like doing stuff today, and maybe they're like, man, tomorrow while they're doing all these, media meetings and also whatever the case may be, it happens then. But I don't see it happening right now. I think Debo has to show up. I mean, as far as like the money was, I don't think he can afford to be fined 40,000 a day. It's not like he's, like we just talked about, he's not under contract, so it's not like he's making 25 million a year. He's making 4.6 million this year as a
Yeah,
second round pick. So that adds up if you're getting fined 40 grand a day. You know what I'm saying? So I think he shows up, probably does a bare minimum, but I just don't see it happen. I see it happening maybe like before like the first preseason game or something like that. I think I say another week or two before it gets done. That's just my opinion.
yeah. Just real quick, want to say what's up to everybody. Niner Joe, Gav. I know it's late over there in the pig head where you live. I appreciate you staying up and joining us. Joel, Tanya, Tia, appreciate you guys. We know there's other shows on right now, but we appreciate you guys being here with
Mhm.
us. Um, I kind of wanted to start off with something, but I jumped into it. So now that I see Joel here too, I want to bring up something. First off, I want to send my condolences out to a sister of the faithful, Gina Rep in the Bay. A lot of you guys know her. She's a content creator for the Warriors, for all Bay Area teams. Her dad passed away. He had been fighting the last, couple weeks, and he did pass. So I do want to send my condolences out to her and her family. And then, Joel, I know I don't want to put your business out there, but I know you're going through something, and I do know that I told you a little bit, but I want to put it out there again that if you need anything, please, 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 please do not hesitate to reach out. When you come to the States, for what you need to come here for, if there's anything that we can do, please, please reach out. And you are in my thoughts and prayers, and I hope you a speedy, speedy recovery.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, hope whatever's going on, you can reach out to me in my DMs as well. You're awesome, Mariah, for bringing this up and giving condolences and stuff. And I was gonna stay quiet about this, but since we're bringing it up, I'll bring it up as well. I got a pamphlet here. This is my grandma's obituary. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Oh no.
She passed away 2 years ago today. July 25th, 2020.
Oh.
She was 87 years old. So it's my 2-year anniversary for my grandma being gone. And I miss you so much, Grandma. I'm her oldest grandchild. And yeah, it's hard seeing it. I have it sitting on my desk at work. So every time I look up, I see her face. And yeah, today happened to be 2 years that the Lord called her home. So.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry for that. But at least we know she's in a better place. She's watching over you, that's for sure.
Yeah, she is.
David, what's up? I see you joining us. I appreciate, everybody in the chat putting up their prayers for both Gina and for you, Joel. And of course for you too, Teal. Yeah. I did earlier today. I had sent you. I didn't know if you got a chance to watch it, but Charles Omenihu was on the SF Niners show with Brad. Another great interview by Brad. And if you haven't seen it, make sure you go and watch it. I'm not going to get too much into it, but I did take a few notes. One of the things that stuck out to me that he talked about, and this kind of, we were just talking about that we just signed another defensive lineman. And this team is so stacked at the D-line already, right? And, Charles talked about how, the team's stacked. He knows he's fighting for a spot, obviously, but he talked about how he didn't, feel comfortable in this system, because obviously we traded for him halfway through the year, last season, that he didn't feel comfortable in this scheme, in this system until actually this mini camp, this OTAs, that we just had right now. So that he played, the season, the half a season that he was with us, and really didn't feel comfortable, nothing, and talked about how hard it was, and, that it was harder than what he thought it was going to be coming over, in the middle of a season, meeting new teammates, trying to learn a completely different scheme, different coaches, and that, he's lived in Texas his entire life, went to high school, went to college, played for the Texans, was drafted by the Texans, and then just to get shipped to the Bay Area, all that, he plays a huge part. And he was actually on his way to work out with Armstead was driving him, and they're getting ready to pick up Kinlaw to all go work out together. So it was just awesome to see that, he obviously, no player is going to get on there and say, oh, I think I'm going to have a bad season or whatever, but from what he said, everything seems positive, that we can expect, for him to have an impact this year. Did you get a chance to listen to that?
Yeah, I watched it. I kind of caught the tail end of it. It was only five. Oh, I caught maybe about 7 to 10 minutes of it and stuff, and I showed at the end where he showed Eric Armstead as the driver and stuff like that. But yeah, I give a shout out to Brad as well. I mean, he's having some pretty big names on his channel. Having the actually players from the 49ers. So shout out to him. But yeah, Charles Omenihu, it's amazing that he came in. He was kind of playing with a deer in the headlights mentality, just kind of out there winging it because he was kind of he wasn't sure about the scheme. But I do remember him saying at the end of the year, when the season was over, he goes, just give me another year in this system and watch out. So, I think to me, looking at our roster, we have a lot of Leos. I feel like a lot of speed rushers now, with Kamoko Toure coming in and Drake Jackson and Kerry Hyder coming back and stuff like that. And then we still got Ebukam. I think his better fit's probably inside. I mean, I think, he's like an Eric Armstead light, I guess you can say, because even though Eric Armstead played well he plays on the edge as well. His better fits inside. And I feel like that's the same thing with the Omenihu, just because he's not a speed guy, but I think ultimately, I think he makes this team, just being with his second year, we use a draft pick on him, stuff like that. So yeah, I think he has a good chance. So yeah, he seems like he's hungry, and we all say it. We all say that, I feel like Chris Kasarik is the best defensive line coach in football. When he gets his hands on these players, he gets the best out of him. So out of whoever he's coaching. So
right.
Yeah.
And then I believe this is Omenihu's contract year, right? As well.
I don't know. Is he going? If he's going into his fourth year, then I would say yeah.
So yeah.
Then yeah, he is. Yeah.
So he's wanting to show up too, so he can get paid, and whether that's with us or we see so many of these D-line come and play with us for a year or two and go get paid somewhere else. So But yeah, hopefully we can get good things out of him. He touched on Trey Lance as well. I'm not sure. I don't know. He knew Trey Lance prior to him coming to the team, so I'm not sure how that background was. But he talked about how, obviously he knows what a good quarterback is because, he was there with Watson besides the off the field shit. But, Watson is a great quarterback. So he's like, I know what a good quarterback looks like. And, Trey has a hell of an arm. That's all he kept saying. That guy's got an arm on him, So, yeah, hopefully that D line, man, and just training camp altogether. Like I'm so excited for training camp just because this team is so stacked from top to bottom that it's not even like just the position battles, but the battles for these last couple roster spots is what's going to be, so good this season. I didn't want to say what's up to Nate. Appreciate you coming by. Bryant, say hi to Tony. Appreciate you guys. They said, talking about Armstead acting as Omen Hughes' Uber driver. Yeah, because he wouldn't say, like they didn't talk about like say who the driver was at first. You could tell he was somebody was driving him, and then the chat's like, shout out to the driver, for driving him and blah blah. And so he just kept going, oh, he's a fan favorite, and it's somebody you guys know, and all this. But and then at the very end, slides over, puts the camera over to him, and it's Armstead there driving him. And Armstead, he's so huge, like, and he's driving like I'm expecting like him to be driving like a big SUV or like something,
Tahoe or something.
It looks like it's just a car, right? Like he looks so humongous in that thing. It's like, oh my god, like I feel like that's me driving my wife's car. Like I always tell her, I feel like I'm in a little toy car when I drive the Nissan because it's like a Nissan Sentra or some shit.
He's probably driving
like
a
so
Tesla
small. Yeah. That car is like so small, and I'm just like, oh my god, I can't imagine a football player.
No, because he's like 6'8", 6'7", 6'8". He's huge.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah, like shit. He's the only one that doesn't make like that Kinlaw doesn't make look so tiny.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we have some other things to get into, but we'll get into it after we do the list. We'll go ahead and jump into we're going to do 1 through 10 of our players that we think will have the biggest or that we need to like step up, for us to be able to go on a Super Bowl run or, at least a deep run into the playoffs, whatever, We're always going to say Super Bowl run because at the end of the day, that's what they're playing football
That's
for,
what the ultimate goal is. Yeah. And just for the chat knows, Miriah and I, we talked about this after our last show and we said, let's do a show, given our 10 players or position group, whatever the case may be, who has to either step up or play like, have to play above and beyond, I guess you can say, to help us get to a Super Bowl run. And mind you, we haven't gone over our list, so we have no clue who's on each other's list. So I feel like there's going to be a few of the same, but I can be, the order might be different, whatever the case may be. But I try to come up with, I came up with the 10 players who I felt need to have like a good year or a lights out type year. And I'm not saying Pro Bowl year. I'm just saying we're just saying a year that, we expect from somebody to take a leap so that we can get us over the hump, so we can get that 6, because it's been way too long. So
yeah. And me, I always, make my own rules on my list. So mine's I cheated a little bit. Whatever. I can. So I'll let you go first. And we're going to start with 10 and work our way to 1. And we're going to go back and forth.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that too, Brian. He said his family's sick. So hope everything is okay.
Oh, no.
Hope everything's okay in your household, the wife, kids, or whoever lives in your house. So, okay. So I named my list 10 key players to help us get to a Super Bowl. And obviously, I can't speak for Miriah, but for me, I'm going to say, you're not going to see the Nick Bosas and Fred Warner and stuff like that, because we already know what their expectations are and what they do on the football field. These are people who may be like on a come up, or we see that they're progressing and stuff like that. So number 10 for me is wide receiver / punt kick returner, Ray Macleod. Our special teams, our field position over the last probably 8-9 years have been horrendous. We haven't had a lights out special team kick punt returner in a long time, since Ted Ginn Jr. And I just feel like, you give this type of offense. Oh, I hope so, Polo. shout out to you for showing up too.
Yeah, appreciate you,
Yeah,
Chris.
we just I'm gonna say Ray Mcleod because Ted Ginn Jr. was epic at punt kickoff return. He gave us such great field position, and I feel like with the weapons we have, if he can get us 20 to 25 yards on every kickoff return, punt return, wherever the case may be, and put us in great field position, there's no reason why we can't score on our drives at least 80% of the time. I don't think we're going to see many 3-and-outs. So I just feel like, with Trey at the helm and everything, I feel like every drive, I can't say every drive, at least 80-90% of the drive should at least end with some type of points, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. And I feel with Ray Macleod, hey Marine Mom, how you doing? I feel like with Ray Mcleod, everything is going to be better, and I think our field position on the field with a good to above average kickoff punt returner is going to be good. So anybody who just came in at number 10, I have Ray Mcleod as a player who I feel like he's a big deal to helping us get to the Super Bowl run because he's going to help with the field with our field position on every down. So.
Yeah, that's a good one. You scared me when you said wide receiver because I as well have a wide receiver at number 10. Appreciate you, sis. Thanks for stopping by. But mine is going to be my GOAT, Brandon Eyuk. And obviously, he's a first-round pick. We expect him to be great. But, I mean, let's be honest, up until this point, he hasn't lived up to my expectations anyways. And I probably expect more out of him than a lot of people because I am a huge believer in him. I know how great he can be. But I just don't think that him and Jimmy had the chemistry that him and Trey obviously are going to have. And I think that's huge. I think that's huge that he's spent the entire offseason working out with our brand new quarterback and building that chemistry. And I think if he can, be what he was his rookie season and better, that, he can, I'm expecting like a Deebo Samuel last season production from Brandon Eyuk this year. I'm expecting him to lead the team, in yards and touchdowns in all those categories because of the chemistry that he has and the work that he's been putting in with Trey. So I think in order for us to make it far, we're going to need somebody to catch those passes from Trey Lance, and it needs to be Brandon Eyuk.
Nice. Yeah, well, I will say I don't have him on my list, so we're not the same so far, so that's good. Number 9 is kind of probably a surprise to you guys, but I'm looking at this guy because he started off hot. I think he even won Special Team Player of the Month at one point, and that's Mitch Wishnowsky. He was pretty terrible after the second half of the season. First half, he was great. He was having some great punts, giving the team horrible field position, or even giving the team, he would kick into the end zone where our coverage guys were going down to where they had to take a knee in the red zone. He tailed off at the end. He was kicking, he was shanking punts and, just giving teams great field position. And I just feel like if he can play at a level that he hadn't beginning of last year, where like the first 6-7 games, he was having a great season. Like I said, he won Special Teams Player of the Month. I want to say like October or September, October. I can't remember which one, but he was lights out. So if he can go to form and, so it's funny because at 10, I'm hoping for great field position for Ray Mcleod, and for Mitch Wishnowsky, I'm hoping for him to put the other team in horrible field position to where they're not able to return any punts for touchdowns, or if he kicks in the end zone that they have to take a knee and don't have a chance to run it out. So Mitch Wishnowsky, I might have him at number 9 for my player who needs to step up this year.
Yeah, that's a good one. I still can't believe that we used, what was it, a 4th round pick on that guy?
4th round pick, yeah.
That's so crazy. Oh man, that's sad. and especially we weren't a great team at the time, we really needed other people with that draft pick, and yeah, he needs to step up.
Yeah.
For me, number 9, I'm going with George Kittle. We've talked about this numerous times already that we'd like to see him used again in the passing game, that hopefully somehow they put together an offensive line that we don't need George Kittle to have to stay in and block so much. And, usually first year, second year, quarterbacks, they rely on their tight ends a lot. So I just think that we really need George Kittle to step up this year, show us, the all-pro tight end that he is, and hopefully get some more touchdowns, because it's kind of hard to keep arguing with everybody that, we have the best tight end in the game when he has like a few touchdowns like in his whole career. Like, it's the crazy. And tight ends are usually used so much in the red zone. And I don't know. So we just really need him to step up, get some freaking touchdowns this year, actually be used as a freaking pass catcher. And we've seen when Kittle is used in the passing game, when Kittle has the ball in his hands, great things happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. We all know that George Kittle's a great blocker, but yeah, you're right. I want to see him as a receiving threat. I'm tired of seeing the Mark Andrews, the Travis Kelce's, the Darren Wallers out there dominating offensively because people can't cover them. And I feel like George Kittle has the same exact, style. Like, he gets the ball in his hands. He's super hard to tackle. When he's out in the open field, he catches a ball, he's going to drag 2 or 3 guys, or he's going to shake them off. So, yeah, I just think that, I think that's a good one. So, yeah. So you said he was number 9 for you?
Yep.
Okay. Number 8 for me, Juwan Jennings. I think, so I know Miriah had Eyuk at 10. I'm a little less worried, I guess you can say. I'm not saying she's worried. I feel like he's going to ball. I have no doubt about it. Him and Trey, I think he's going to have a better receiving season than Debo. I'm not going to say overall, because I don't know what his role is, but I feel like Brandon Ayuk's going to be our breakout player on offense. But Juwan Jennings, I feel like got that dog in him. I feel like, if we can get Juwan Jennings, and if he takes that leap to be the great number 3 receiver that we think he can be. So let's just say if Debo has 1,200 yards, Ayuk has 1,300 yards. If Juwan Jennings can get us like 800 yards and like 6-7 touchdowns, I'm happy with that. I want this wide receiver core to take off now that we have a quarterback who can get the ball and throw the ball in every aspect of the field, every part of the field. Yeah, I look at like a Dallas from last year, even though they didn't go that far. But you look at the Dallas last year where they had CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup. Like, those guys were balling, and then you got the Bengals trio of the T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and the Tyler Boyd. So if we can get our receiving core to get to that level where like everybody, all the corners are scared of all of our weapons, I think we're going to have a great year. And I think if Juwan Jennings can step up and be that guy and be the undoubtedly number 3 receiver and go out there and dominate with his receiving and his blocking skills, I think this offense is going to be fun to watch. And I know we're a running team. However, Kyle's always been that guy who likes to run the football, but Matt Ryan still led the league in yards, I believe, that year. He won the MVP. So, just because Kyle likes to run the ball, he's going to exploit every weakness he can. And if our receiving core is out there and we're stepping up and they're unstoppable, you best believe he's going to use that, more if he needs to. So I got Juwan Jennings at number 8.
Yeah. Hey, Denise. Appreciate you coming by. Yeah, I mean, and that's always the thing, like everybody, oh, well, Kyle likes to run. Yeah, he does. But like the 49ers wouldn't have spent so much draft capital and invested so heavily in a wide receiver, squad there if they weren't planning on using them. Like a 1st-round pick on Brandon Ayuk, a 2nd-round pick on Deebo Samuel. Like that's high-ass picks for your 1 and 2 wide receiver that most teams don't even have. Most teams are lucky to have 1 wide receiver. And we have a 1st-round and a 2nd-round pick there. And yet people want to, oh, well, Kyle, he wants to run the ball. Like, we don't need to throw it. No, we just couldn't throw it. Like, there's a huge difference there. Like,
Exactly.
It's like, oh, my God, these freaking arguments these people have. So, all right. We're going to go at number 8, Jimmy Ward. And not that, like Jimmy Ward's played poorly up until this point. Pretty much the opposite. Like, I just feel like he's the man there right now. Like, we're going to have somebody next to him that, is younger, that is on my list as well. But like we need him to be the vet to, you know, do what he does. Like, yeah, he doesn't get the interceptions that we all wish he did, but like he locks down fucking tight ends of other teams, and we just really need him to be locked down. We heard like last week or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember now when it was, but him talking about, you know, like keep hating on me. You guys are going to see, like, pretty much he's playing for his contract. So like, we don't know if he's playing for a contract somewhere else or he's planning on, you know, the 49ers paying him. Who knows? But yeah, I just think that we're going to really, without, you know, Tart there next to him, we're going to really need Jimmy Ward to step up and lock it down back there.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good pick. Jimmy Ward, I'm going to call it out this year. And not saying he's a bad player. I'm going to call out. I'm going to say that this year he's going to have the most interceptions in his career. I think I'm going to give him 4 interceptions this year.
Yeah, so, and I feel like he's like, we've seen, you know, last season, you know, like that's when he went on the guys' channels and was actually like talking shit about the other teams, you know, and like we saw like a side of Jimmy Ward that we hadn't seen. Like he really felt like it felt and sounded like he was finally feeling comfortable. Like, okay, I finally am put into my right position. I'm playing where I need to play, even though he did mention how he wished that he was playing the position Tart played. So maybe he will be playing more of that position this season. But that he's like more coming into his own, like he's taken that vet role and, you know, like just feeling comfortable. And we saw, you know, he got interceptions this past season. So hopefully you're right. You know, like, he's coming out this offseason too, talking shit again, running his mouth. So hopefully that's what he needs, and it fuels him to actually get some interceptions back there. Yeah. Niner by nature.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's hungry, like you said. I think he's in a contract year too as well. Yep. So, you know, I think he plays a lot better than what he has been. He's been great ever since he's gotten past his injuries.
Yep.
So I like the fact that he stayed healthy the last few seasons. I mean, he's a dog out there, probably one, if not the best tackler we have. You know what I mean? Like he's such an artist. Like he's great at, you know, the way he wraps up everything. So he's a great tackler. So I wouldn't be surprised if the man has 4 or 5 interceptions. I would love to see it. That'll give him a career high. So, yeah, that's a good pick. All right, number 7 for me is a position group because we have so many, but I'm going to say the Leo position. We already know what Nick Bosa can do. He's going to get you anywhere between 14 to 18 sacks, if not more. I'm just giving him a range of what I know he can do. Who's going to step up opposite of him? Is it Drake Jackson? Is it Kamoko Toure? Is it Ebelcom? Kerry Hyder? Somebody needs to step up. You know, I'm tired of this, you know, trying to find somebody and, hopefully with Drake Jackson, we have our future. But I feel like, you know, somebody's going to have to step up. You know, I know we're going to keep a few, and I'm glad we're going to have a great rotation. But I just want that one guy, whether it's Ebelcom, Drake Jackson, I don't care who it is, somebody to come in, step up, and help Nick Bosa stop being double teamed. Help on the other side so we can get some pass rush to the quarterback. Because I hate that. I feel like the quarterback only worries about Bosa. He's like, oh, I got to worry about him. I want whoever we're playing quarterback to be uncomfortable. I want you to know that there's pressure coming from both sides on the edge groups. And that's what we need. We need somebody to step up at the Leo position. So I feel like if we have somebody on the Leo position that can give us between 8 to 12 sacks, that it'll help our defensive line tremendously. And that we don't have to worry and we don't have to depend on Nick Bosa having to get pressure every single down. And I mean, it's great to have, but he shouldn't be the only one that we're counting on to get pressure and sacks on a regular basis. So that's my number 7, the Leo position, and somebody needs to step up.
Yeah, that's a good one. I did have, because before I actually put my people into 1 through 10, like I wrote down all the people at the bottom who I were thinking I was going to put in the list, you know, to try to narrow it down. And that was, you know, one of them that I ended up not having like enough room for. But that is, you know, it's something that's definitely important. It's like, you know, I'm so glad that we had drafted for that, but I just don't think he's going to be ready to be what we need him to be at the beginning of the season. So
I agree.
We'll see who steps up there. Number 7, I'm putting Jimmy Ward's partner, Hufanga, there. And for all this, basically the same reasons I just talked about for Jimmy Ward. Like, we just got rid of Tart, and I'm a big Huff fan, but like, we need to see you step up and do it full time as a starter. I feel like Tart got a lot of unnecessary hate from the faithful a lot of the times, but at the same time, he wasn't my favorite player and wasn't that great. So, it is what it is. I'm glad that, he's off with the Eagles and somewhere else. But I really just hope that Huff, a lot of people have a lot of concerns about his speed and, different things. So hopefully, he can put it all together. And because if he can't, it's going to get messy back there. It's going to, yeah. We're going to see, if Huff can't do it, we're going to see how valuable Tart really was. But if Huff can do it, then we'll see that, Tart wasn't that big of a deal to let go. But yeah.
So this is the first time we have the same on our list. I have Talanoa Hufanga at 6. I feel the same way that you feel. If he balls out, and like Chris Polo said, if he balls out, it's curtains, show's over. And I think what I said at 7 with the Leo position, getting pass rush, if we get pass rush from both sides of our ends, it's going to make that job even easier for Hufanga. I'm not worried about Hufanga's instincts. I'm not worried about his IQ, any of that. I'm just worried about if he, the speed and stuff like that. One thing we had mentioned before, you can get faster because speed is something that you can teach. Like if there's any track guys in here, like, there is ways to make guys faster. But, I just feel like, his instincts are so great coming into a second year in this scheme. If we have a very good pass rush, if Hufanga can just ball out and give us, even equal production to Tart, it don't have to be, I'm not expecting him to go out there and have a Pro Bowl season, which would be great. If he goes out there, he doesn't miss any tackle. He's not getting beat deep. He's taking good angles and stuff and keeping everything in front of him. I think we'll be fine. So him coming in at a position that's, pretty valuable, strong safety, because you got to be able to stop the run and you got to be able to cover as well. So, if he can step up and show us any production, like I said, don't have to be Pro Bowl. If he can go out there and give us any type of production with Tart, but at the same time too, if he can create some turnovers, whether it's forced fumbles or whether it's a couple interceptions, if he gives us 2 interceptions, I'm happy.
Yeah, which I feel like he's better. He's better at playmaking that way than Tart was.
So Hufanga, I have him 6th on my list, and his growth is key to the success of this team going forward.
Yep, I agree. Before I need to give 6, right? Yeah. Before I give my number 6, let's go ahead and do a giveaway. Drop your numbers 1 through 100 in the chat. I don't think there's anybody new, but just in case there's anybody new listening, if you haven't been here before, we do random giveaways from a card box or, different things. We do it through 1 through 100 random number generator. So you have to drop a number in the chat, 1 through 100, no duplicates. So make sure nobody else has dropped the number before you do. And I'll give you guys a couple minutes and then I'll do a random number generator and it'll pick a winner and we'll see what you won. Good luck, everybody. Number 6, I'm going with, I put down Womack, but really I'm going with the slot corner, who's going to play that position. I'm hoping that it'll be Womack. But who knows if he's going to be ready to start there come, the start of the season. But hopefully he takes over there. But regardless who plays that position, we need that person to step up because we've had the Shark there locking down that position for the last few years. He's gone, and it's pretty much like with the Huff taking over for Tart. He's replacing somebody that was on the team all this time. And, Shark was damn good at his job.
He was.
That's why he went to the Broncos and got paid, so we need whoever is going to be that spot to step up because they play a key role in our defense in those packages. So, yeah. Like I said, I do hope that it's Womack. I just don't know if he's going to be ready to start the season. but we'll see.
Yeah, that's an excellent pick too. And Tone talking about wake up. I was reading the bottom of the chat. I wasn't asleep, bro. He said wake up, TL. I was reading the bottom, but yeah, that's a great pick as well. I didn't have any corners. This is the first time in a long time that I'm comfortable with our corners. Like I just feel like we have so much depth, and like we had mentioned before, if Jason Verrett is healthy, oh my gosh, like Tarvarius Ward, Verrett, Ambry Thomas, and Emmanuel Mosley. Like will be awesome. And if I'm expecting the big leap from Ambry Thomas this year, and the fact that Emmanuel Mosley's in a contract year, that's another one who's in a
Yeah.
contract year. So I feel, and he's still young. Was he only like 27? He's still young. So if he balls out, that's another one, and I'm sure he's going to. He just needs to stay healthy himself. But let's just say, our starting corners are Tarvarius Ward and Emmanuel Mosley. Let's just say, if Jason Verrett is healthy and he's our slot, oh my goodness, like that's just ridiculous. Then you got Ambry Thomas, and you said you got Samuel Womack, so it's gonna be interesting. That slot position, I feel like, is in good hands. But you're right, like it's such a passing league now. That slot corner needs to stay healthy, and slot corner, it's not a backup role anymore.
Right.
It's not like it was back in the 80s and 90s where a slot corner came in only on third downs or whatever the case may be. It's a full-time position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you play 80% of the snaps nowadays. So yeah, I think slot corner is very important. And yes, slot corner towards the end of the year, we started getting killed. I mean, Cooper Kupp ate our lunch.
Yeah, and we had to face him twice this season.
Yeah.
And he's only getting more comfortable with his arm fatigued quarterback. So
yeah, he was eating our lunch and he was lined up in the slot. So it was ugly. So yeah, slot position is very important, but I would feel comfortable if everybody's healthy, and I don't care if it's Ambry Thomas, Emmanuel Mosley, Jason Verrett, whoever it is and wins that position, I think we're in good hands. But I like your pick in Samuel Womack. I mean, he reminds me of another shark type player, but with just longer arms and faster.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's one of the things like about Shark that, if I had to pick a negative, was that he wasn't that fast. Mm-hmm. And, at the end of the day, his game speed wasn't that fast either. Where Huff, as we were talking about, he has the game speed. He may not have the track speed to run the speed for a fucking 40-yard dash, but who gives a shit? You don't have to run a 40-yard dash in football. Like, I need you to have game speed. I need you to, be able to think fast and move. And so
so you're right, because I mean, we talked about this on a couple of shows. I don't care if he got the speed of Taylor Mays. He was out of the league in 2.5, 3 years because he didn't know how to cover. He didn't understand angles. So having track speed is great if you know how to use it on the football field. So
I mean, and we've seen wide receivers too with track speed and not make it. Look at what's his face that we used
John
to have,
Ross.
Goodwin. He's a record holder for the freaking. He ran in the Olympics, but that don't mean that it matches in football.
Translates.
So number 5.
Everybody's still putting their numbers in. I don't
really see I'll give them until I go.
Okay, number 5. Number 5 is a man who people are kind of 50-50 on. Kind of gets hate because sometimes he looks good and sometimes we're like, dude, what are you doing? You're a first round pick and you're getting your lunch taken. And that's Mike Mcglinchey. Mike Mcglinchey, to me, as much as he's always getting dogged on because he does one thing good and not the other. If he's healthy, I truly believe he wins his spot back. And it all goes with Kyle. He trusts him. He's gonna put Mike Mcglinchey in there if he's even 90%, I believe. So Mike Mcglinchey, if you're healthy and you come back strong, if you come back to anything.
John coming in just in time to steal the win from you guys.
Of course. So yeah,
drop your number, John.
So Mike Mcglinchey to me is 5th because that's one position going into training camp that I'm worried about the most is offensive line. I know we brought in a lot of young guys. We got a lot of second and third year guys with Colton McKivitz and Justin School and what's his name? Spencer Burford. We got Jalen Moore. The list goes on. We have so many guys, but ultimately, if Mike Mcglinchey is healthy, I think he gets a start at right tackle, which will make me feel that much more comfortable for the protection of Trey Lance. So Mike Mcglinchey is number 5 on my list.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely a good one. Probably one I'll come to later on.
JB last number was 42, and then no Tone with 24. Sorry, Tone 24, and then David with 42. Those are the last two numbers that were put out there.
Yeah, and this is the first drawing. So
That's the first
talking about
drawing,
the
yep.
last winning number, there wasn't one.
Oh,
So just drop a damn number and don't ask so many questions.
who is this dude?
McNugget. TCAF 31. I'm guessing it's somebody that knows John V. Or else. JV, drop your damn number or I'm going to pick without you. I just got done coaching a bunch of hormonal teenagers, girls in soccer.
Yeah, that's hard, bro. That's hard.
Better you than me. I got to deal with one. Oh, that's Tony. Okay. Hi, Tony. Thank you for coming to join us. John V's co-host.
Oh, that Tony. Oh.
All right, 19.
Okay.
I don't think nobody picked that, right?
And let me go up and check.
No, we're good.
No.
All right. I'm going to do the drawing right now. Give you guys a couple more seconds in case. Appreciate you. I love your show as well.
Appreciate that, Tony.
Yeah, I'm going to do the giveaway now. Let's see.
Okay.
I don't want nobody coming in the last second be posting no number as soon as I give the damn number. All right, ready?
Yep.
Ready? 43.
Oh, I know who won
winner.
that one. David McNew got 42.
Oh, good job. Good job. All right. Well, that was easy.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
have to be scroll through looking forever. Let's see what you won. Trey Lance. I like this card. It's pretty cool coloring. Let me turn on the real light so you can see.
North Dakota State Trey Lance, huh?
Yep.
Nice. That's a nice card.
Yeah. I like it a lot. It's like raised, like it has really nice detail on it. So congrats, David.
Yeah, Tony, you need to step up your game over there, man. You see what he put? Giveaway, man, JV. We cheap, bro.
I know. I've been trying to get some damn merch for freaking who knows how long, and I can't even get none of that.
Congratulations, David.
Right. Yep, congratulations. Let me get this put away real quick so I don't send it to somebody else.
Ronnie Lott. Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to be giving away the Diamador Lenore signed card as well later on. And then we'll probably do another giveaway too.
Cool.
So stay tuned. All right. Let's see where we're at. Did I do number 5? Nope.
No. Not
and
yet.
I know you talked about, you don't have no corners on the list because you're comfortable with them and whatever, but it's not that I'm not comfortable with any of these people. Like Eyuk, obviously I'm the most comfortable with him, but that doesn't mean I don't want him and he doesn't need to step up.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable with these guys, but they need to step up and do it, at the end of the day. So, number 5, I have Tarvarius Ward. I think, obviously we don't know if Jason Verrett's going to be healthy up until this point. Besides the one season that we did have Jason Verrett, we really haven't had that lockdown corner that, it's like we have this pass rush. We can have the safeties. We have the linebackers, the best linebackers in the game. But yet, at the end of the day, if we don't have nobody in the back end to, stop these freaking wide receivers, it's not going to help us. So, we gave Tarvarius this contract. We've seen what he could do when he was with the Chiefs. But he's in a new defense. He's with new players, new teammates, new coaches. It's hella important for him to step up and show that, he can do it over here. that he's worth the money that we paid, that he can be that lockdown guy. I do love that we're seeing that he's working. He's been working this entire offseason, since he signed. We see him putting out these videos, there's some guys, like, I don't want to put no digs on anybody, but there's some workout videos that get posted, like maybe by Trey Sermon, or it's just kind of like, why are you even posting this? Because it's not really making you look too great, like you just look slow. You just look, but Tarvarius, like his videos that he's posting, like he's like locking down these guys. Like he has quick hips, like he's fast, like everything you want in that lockdown corner. So, in order for this defense to be top 3, whatever, like we think it's going to be, we need these corners to step it up. And that starts with him.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel like finally, we're good on defense at all 3 levels.
Yeah.
Like I'm not worried about any position group so far if we all stay healthy. So yeah, this is, one of the best defense we had. Like I said, I think it reminds me of like that Tony Montana year. That Tony Montana squad with the special teams was good. I mean, the defense was physical. Like I just love how they put this team together. But yeah, with it being a passing league, I mean, we're going to get some top-notch quarterbacks this year too. So Tarvarius Ward has to go up against Russell Wilson. He has to go up against Patrick Mahomes, who he's probably comfortable playing against. But Justin Herbert, he has to go against Derek Carr, Tom Brady. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we have some tough tasks. Even our own division. You can say what you want, but Kyler Murray, whenever he's on, he's on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can say what you want, but he's on. Matthew Stafford. So yeah, our secondary is very important this year. And yeah, I agree. Like this is the first time, like I look at corner, I'm like, man, I'm not sitting here like holding my breath, like who's going to start and this and that. So yeah, well, cool. Good list so far. And people who are just coming on, I'll go back over my list. Me and Miriah will tell you who we had from 10 to number 1. So, and we're going to number 4 right now. Number 4 for me, who I feel is very key to us being great, is Aaron Banks. He has some big holes to fill.
Yeah.
Laken Tomlinson was the man. He was like an Iron Man. He was always healthy. You hardly ever heard his name. You know what I mean? Like, there's a couple holding calls here and there, but for the most part, he was consistent. He hardly ever had any holding calls against him, like they told us when I was in the military, when I was in boot camp. The drill instructor said, if we know your name, it's 2 things: you're either a warrior or a dirtbag, and you don't want them knowing you because you're a dirtbag,
right?
And Laken Tomlinson, you hardly ever heard his name. So that's what I want from Aaron Banks. I mean, it's going to be his 2nd year. It's going to be some growing pains. I get it. I don't expect him to be Laken Tomlinson. However, I just expect you to be next to Silverback, soaking in all the information you can. You're going to be playing next to the best offensive tackle in football. So I just hope that you're getting all that knowledge, and he's there to help you. So, I think as long as you go in there and you play your game, I saw you at Notre Dame. You're a mauler, and that's what we need from you in the passing game and the run game. You just go in there and be you. You're at your natural position at left guard. So I just hope that you can go in there and you step it up and you protect our future quarterback and Trey Lance. That's all I know it sounds like a lot, but you being a 2nd round pick, we need you to step up, and I have all the faith in you in the world that you can do that. So
yep, that's a good one. I'll be coming to him later too. Number 4, I have Juwan Kinlaw. And we talked about this when we did our, D-line position breakdown, that we need that guy in the middle of that line to, eat up those double teams, to stop the run, to be the guy. And, I hate to put him to replace Buckner, but that's what you were drafted to do, and not specifically replace Buckner, but to replace that position. And up until this point, you haven't, and in order for that D-line to be successful, like it relies a lot on Kinlaw to be healthy and for him to be the 1st round draft pick that we drafted. So I'm not going to go into it too much. We talked about it a lot already, but so yeah, Kinlaw.
Okay. So funny. You have Juwan Kinlaw at 4. I have him at 3.
All right.
So yeah, so I have him for the same exact reasons. I mean, you were a top 15 pick, and I get it. You're going to be, you and DeForest Buckner are going to be talked about forever
Yeah.
because you like Miriah said, he was drafted to replace him. However, I don't expect you to have that same type of production. He was a higher pick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was a beast as a pass rusher. I don't expect you to be a pass rusher.
Yep.
That's what Drake Jackson is for and Turay and Bosa are for. Of course, I would like you to get pressure, but if you can stop the run, eat up them double teams, and let the Leo and Nick Bosa eat, I'm happy. If you can get us between 5 and 6 sacks, great. But I think with Armstead being in the middle right next to you, Bosa and whoever steps up at the Leo position, I feel like if you're doing your job as strong as you are, I mean, like a couple of times I saw you at South Carolina, you were an absolute animal. I mean, you're very powerful. So if you can, like we said, you go in there, you take up them double teams, let everybody else eat. I'm happy, but I'm praying for you to stay healthy first and foremost. That's what we need from you to stay healthy. I'm not with all the people talking about your knee and stuff like that because that's something that's out of your control.
Right.
However, it's not hate saying that at this moment, and it could change because you still have a long career ahead of you for what we hope. At this point, Tristan Wirfs and Justin Jefferson are the better picks. We're not hating. Yeah. We're just saying it's facts. I would like that change. So if you can prove me wrong, I'll be more glad to come on here and say I was wrong. But for you, I need you to step up to help this team get to a Super Bowl run. So that's what he's number 3 on my list.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So number 3, I went with, the whole position group, except for one part of it. So number 3, I have like the offensive line. However, I do have it headlined with Trent Williams for the reason that we need him to stay healthy because he's the best offensive line in the game, right? If he goes down, that offensive line's fucked. Like, there's no hope for the rest of these guys to, like, the only reason I'm even a little confident in the O-line is because Trent Williams is on one side. So, like, if he goes down, I'm so scared of that O-line and so scared for Trey Lance. So it starts with him being healthy, being there, and being able to teach the rest of these guys what to do because they need to learn from him. So it's going to be Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Big Mike, whoever is playing next to him. If Big Mike can't play, like that right side, who knows who's playing those positions, So like all 4 of those positions, we need them to be there, be healthy, be at the top of the game because as we know, we got a young quarterback behind them that needs to stay upright. So I'm going with the offensive line minus the center for number 3.
Okay. Down to our last 2. Number 2 for me is Jake Grendel. You have to step up, my guy. I'm sorry. Like you're stepping in for Alex Mack. As David mentioned in the chat, 28 years old, has never been a starter on that team. He's taken some snaps, but for him not to be a starter at a key position on that offense, you can argue that after quarterback, the center is the most important part of the offense. He calls out plays, he changes plays, he audibles, whatever the case may be. So Jake Grendel, the reason why I do have confidence in you is because you've been taking snaps with Trey Lance for over a year. You guys had that chemistry as far as the timing and, ball placement, whatever the case may be. But in real game situations, can you be that guy to have poise, to have the intelligence to know when there's a blitz, whatever the case may be? I need you to be Trey's eyes and ears. You have some big shoes to fill in Alex Mack. This is the first time I'm looking at Kyle Shanahan and shocked he's going with the center who's never started a game. He went and signed a Weston Richburg in free agency because he knew he can play. It didn't work out because he was hurt, which sucked. But I think he made a couple Pro Bowls before that because he was a good center. You got Alex Mack. He had Alex Mack in Atlanta as well. So he's always had somebody he's familiar with and somebody who had that veteran presence. Jake Grendel, he doesn't have that at the moment. And as we've said before, we're big fans of Kyle Shanahan. We do trust him. But that doesn't mean that we can't sit here and be curious and worried about some of the moves that has been made, because, you know, we're looking at a our future star at quarterback being 22 years old, and we cannot have him running for his life. I'm sorry. So Jake Grendel, I need you to step up, and you're number 2 on my list of importance of this team getting to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Number 2, I have the center as well. However, I'm not convinced still that it's going to be Jake Grendel. I do have him listed at the beginning of the list because that's who we've heard up until this point. But I'm not confident that he'll be a starter because of the reasons that everybody's saying. He hasn't done it. He was on this practice squad and that practice squad. And, I don't know. I'm just not confident in that position. I have West and Poe as well listed there because I'm hoping that one of them can beat him out. I'm hoping that one of them is better than him. I don't know. We'll see. Obviously we heard Trey get up there and talk great things about Jake Grendel, but that's his guy. And like you said, he's been working with him for the last year. So what's he going to get up there and say? Right now, that's who's slotted in as the starter. So, I'm not expecting that he's going to get up there and say, oh, I don't have confidence in Grendel. So I'm putting the whole center position as a whole because we'll see who ends up starting there. But whoever it is, for all the reasons you just said, need to step up. And like we talked about before, we went on the show, it's still surprising to me that the 49ers knew that Mac was going to retire, and they went into the draft, didn't draft a center, and took a undrafted guy that we all thought was going to be drafted, but he wasn't. He wasn't drafted for a reason. So it's just surprising to me that with, like you said, how important the center position is specifically to this offense and to Kyle Shanahan, that he's going into this season with a second-year rookie quarterback and a question mark at center. That's surprising to me, to say the least.
You're absolutely right. So, last but not least, and I'm sure we're probably the same exact thing on this, the number 1 person to help us get to a Super Bowl, if he plays like we think he can play and have the confidence we all have, is Trey Lance. He's number 1 on my list, not because I'm worried about him, because I really think that, he has all the tools. He's smart, If he can, I'm going to be real. Jimmy gave us 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions last year with a total of, I think it was like 18, 19 turnovers in general. That's including his fumbles.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. So if we can limit the turnovers, which I think Trey can, and and here's the thing that Trey has going for him that Jimmy doesn't, and that's arm strength that can make every throw and his legs. So I feel like with Trey having the legs he has and, him being able to attack every area of the field, we're going to see a lot of one-on-one coverage because we're going to have, people like Danny Gray and Ray Mcleod doing clear out routes to open up things for George Kittle and Debo and Brandon Eyuk. So I'm not really worried about him in that aspect. But if he can give us anything similar to what Jimmy gave us and limit the turnovers, I like what he's going to do for us. I don't expect no 5,000 yards passing. That's unrealistic.
Yeah.
Give me 3,800 yards passing, maybe 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. We're good because I have faith in this defense. I have faith in Chris Kasarik, D'Amico Ryans. I have faith in Kyle. And I think Kyle's going to put you in a position. If you show us anything you showed us like you did against the Houston Texans, I'm not worried. And I don't care what people say, it was the Houston Texans or not. Trey had the 2nd or 3rd best QBR against the Texans. 2, the week before, they made Justin Herbert look like an average quarterback. Yeah. Trey Lance went in there and took care of business and had to win that game for us to make the playoffs. So people say, oh, well, it was an easy game. No, it wasn't. He had to win. We had to win that game. Otherwise, the playoffs we're going to be X out of the playoffs. So I'm not worried about you, Trey, but if you show us anything, and Leonard by nature, I'm not saying it's not realistic. I'm just saying I don't see that happening. I'm just saying if he gets us 3,800, I'm happy. But, yeah, I feel like the touchdowns will be at least 10 more passing and another 5-6 on the ground and less turnovers. He gives us that. I give us a realistic chance of everything hits all cylinders, that we can make a Super Bowl run and getting number 6 coming back to San Francisco. So.
Yep, I agree. Trey Lance, number 1 for everything you just said. And you said the things he gives us, that Jimmy didn't is he has an arm to make all the throws and, obviously the running ability. And I'll do you one better. The thing he gives us that Jimmy didn't is brains, because I don't think Jimmy was a smart quarterback. Like Jimmy showed us time and time again that he wasn't a smart quarterback. And up until this point, everything that we've heard about Trey is how smart he is, how much he studies the game. He's constantly trying to get better. So all those things added to what you said. Like if Trey can be all that we're hoping and expecting and praying and wishing for, like this team is doing great. So this team has been so good with such a scrub at quarterback up until this point. So if we can get, an actual quarterback in there that, can actually play the game like a quarterback should be able to, this team, there's no reason why it can't go to the Super Bowl.
Totally agree. And I think the thing that I'm most looking forward to as well is that, with Trey, and we talked about him attacking every area of the field, we don't have to worry about hospital balls. We don't have to worry about Debo and George Kittle going over the middle and getting smacked by 2 and 3 safeties and linebackers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be so much one-on-one coverage, I feel, with Trey. That's going to be nasty, because now you have a Danny Gray and Ray Mcleod, like I said, going deep. They have to be accounted for. I'm taking Debo one-on-one with any corner, and I'm taking George Kittle one-on-one with any linebacker.
Yeah.
So if you have that in account, you know what I'm saying? If they have that in account, and then you attack every area of the field, I have no worry about the hospital balls and always throwing over the middle every other play. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. I think Trey, exactly. Yep. And I think with Trey being there, it's going to be epic. Like, I think we're all going to be in for a treat this year, and how our team is going to look on offense and defense. So.
Yeah, Polo says if he replicates the good parts of Jimmy and limits the mindless errors, there's no reason they can't win a Super Bowl this year. The mobility is icing on the cake.
Facts.
And
I don't see Trey with 18 turnovers. I don't.
No. I mean, like you're saying, if I would say even if he has 30 touchdowns and 15 turnovers, I'm okay. Because that's still better than what freaking Jimmy gave us, and that's in Trey's first season. I'm expecting that he gets better. He hasn't been somebody, in college that turns over the ball. So I'm not expecting that to start now,
Yeah.
But if that does his first season, shit happens.
Yeah.
There's going to be growing pains. But, going forward on his 8th season in the NFL like Jimmy, I'm not expecting that he's going to have, a 2-to-1 freaking ratio.
Yeah. And I feel like if Trey, because everybody always says, well, in his 2 starts, he threw interceptions. True. But he has a year under his belt now. He knows the playbook. He's familiar with his receivers now. So I think it's just going to be different. And, so I just think that we're going to be in for a treat, like I mentioned before. And then 2, with Trey, it's going to open up that run game. Like, I think the run game is another thing. And that was my honorable mention, with that. I didn't put that on my list because I feel like the run game is going to be perfect. Elijah Mitchell, he was a rookie last year, and we all know how Kyle feels about fumbling, and he didn't fumble one time.
Yep.
So I think he has the upper hand of being the starting running back, but I think that TDP is coming. I think he's going to be on his heels, but of course, I feel like, the start of the season, it'll be Mitchell. But then we have Tony. I think you're an Ohio State fan. I think, we still have Trey Sermon. We have Jordan Mason. We have decent depth in our running back room, and then we have the best fullback in football, Kyle Juszczyk. So I think we're going to be fine. Offensive line to me is key. As long as that offensive line is key, and like Miriah said, Trent Williams stays healthy, I think we're good. I just, I think that if Trey does make the mistakes, it'll be early. Like, it'll be like first couple weeks, and I think he'll clean that up. So, but like Miriah said, if it's 30 touchdowns and 15 turnovers, that's 3 less turnovers, but you're giving us another 10 touchdowns. You know what I mean? So I'm happy with that. So, yeah. Yeah, so so for the people who are newer, I'll give you my recap, then Miriah can give you hers.
Okay, real
So
quick before you do
yeah.
that, let's go ahead and give away this Diamador Lenore signed card. Go ahead and drop your numbers in the chat. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna do my recap. 10 going down to 1, who I feel, who are keys to us winning the Super Bowl and getting to that next level. 10, Ray Mcleod as a punt kickoff returner for field position. Mitch Wisnowski, I put him on there because he started off great. Was a special team of the month guy, and then I don't know what happened to him. He started having some boneheaded kicks. Juwan Jennings, I have him number 8. I feel like he got that dog in him. He's going to be a beast this year at number 3. Number 7, not one particular person, but I have the Leo position. Who's going to step up on the opposite of Nick Bosa? Turay, Drake Jackson, Hyder. Who is it going to be? Ebelcom. We need them to step up and stop. And this team needs to stop depending on Nick Bosa to always apply pressure. 6 is Talanoa Hufanga. He's going into his second year. They really like him. Jimmy Ward talked highly of him, which is shocking because he never talked that highly of Tart, and they've been teammates since high school. Hufanga, number 6. 5, Mike Mcglinchey. Is he healthy? Will he be the veteran presence we need on that offensive line? Somebody who's been there before and done that. 4, Aaron Banks taking over for Laken Tomlinson. How's that going to look? Number 3, Javon Kinlaw. 2, Jake Grendel. And number 1, I got Trey Lance.
Yep. For me, I got number 10, Eyuk. 9, Kittle. 8, Jimmy Ward. 7, Talanoa Hufanga. Number 6, the slot cornerback / Womack / whoever it may be. Number 5, Tarvarius Ward. 4, Kinlaw. 3, the whole O-line minus the center. Number 2, the center, whether that's Brendel, West, Poe, whoever that may be. And number 1, Trey Lance.
Very good.
Very good. Very good.
Thanks, Niner by Nature. I appreciate your support, man. Always here.
Yeah.
Great show, y'all. And everybody else as well. I love you guys. There's a lot of shows on today, too, but you guys decided to come ride with us, so we're always thankful for that.
Yep. Tony says, this is coming from not even a Niners fan. The Niners will be, dare I say, fun to watch on offense. San Francisco hasn't had that in a while. You're telling me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Like, I feel like this offense hasn't been fun, like exciting to watch since Kaepernick was the quarterback.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. No, I was going to say the same thing. I think, and this is sad, like every time I think about an exciting offensive game, I go back to that 2019 game against the Saints.
Yeah.
Like that game, I was on my toes. Like I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was just one. It's funny. I feel like us and the Saints have epic games because that Alex Smith Saints game was the best game I've ever seen almost. Like that playoff game. Man, that was an epic game with the catch 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Vernon Davis crying. Yeah, that was an epic game. But yeah, since 2019, it hasn't been a game where I'm just like excited for like the offense of it going back and forth from what I can remember. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any more, but no, I don't think of another game.
Niner by Nature had asked, do y'all think this D-line could be better than the 2019 D-line? If so, is our defense better altogether?
I'm going to say on the D-line itself as a whole, I'm going to say no. Because a healthy D4, DeForest Buckner, Armstead, and Nick Bosa to me was pretty special. Because, that line was awesome. And I wish that D Ford had been healthy his whole career. I mean, it's with us at least, because I mean, when he's on the field and he's healthy, he's good. He's a beast. I don't think, but as a whole, I like our defense better. I think that Fred Warner now is arguably like the best linebacker. He was in 2019. Everybody was arguing him being top 5. Like, you can argue he's the best now. Like, I think he's overtaken Bobby Wagner for sure. Yeah. Aziz and Greenlaw. And then our secondary as a whole has been the best. It's been, I think, since 2011, 2012, when we went to the Super Bowl, when we had Carlos Rogers and Deshaun Golson and Whitner and all that. I think the X factor for that secondary is Hufanga. Like, if he can go, we already know that he can lay the hat. Like, he can hit. But if he can go out there and do his thing, I like our defense as a whole better than 2019. What about you, Miriah?
Yeah. Make sure you guys all have your numbers. I'm going to draw right after this. Yeah. I think the 2019 D-line was better for, like you said, we had D Ford over there. We don't know who we're going to have there. Like, that's my one gripe about this D-line up until this point. We don't have that guy opposite Bosa. I do think the depth is better right now on the D-line. And if somebody can show up and take that D Ford spot, it can be better, but right at this point, I would say the 2019 D-line was better. I do, however, think that the defense from front to back is better right now.
Agree.
And because we didn't have the corners, we didn't have that back end defense like that we have right now.
Yeah.
And then I had saved some other things. Go ahead and answer. You can start that one while I draw a winner.
Do you guys see Kyle running the rock?
None of Nature says, do you guys see Kyle running the rock heavy with play action? And then the second part of the season, he opens it up like the 2016 Falcons offense.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see him starting off that way just to get Trey comfortable, with live games, stuff like that. I feel like after like week 4 or 5, we're going to see this offense open up a lot. You know what I mean? I just feel like, but it's funny because I feel like week 1, we're playing such a trash team like the Bears, and I know it's the NFL and anything can happen, but I feel like we're gonna run the rock down their throats in Chicago. I just have that feeling. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of passing and stuff for a while. So, but yeah, I don't think it'll be this year that we have the production of a Matt Ryan. But like I said, me and Miriah have said this before. We can see Trey Lance in year 2 or 3 being like an MVP candidate, because not at one point in time was Matt Ryan ever considered the best quarterback in football, yet he put up astounding numbers that year. I can't remember what year it was, but he dominated. Like, he had Matt Ryan out there looking like Joe Montana. Like, he was a beast. So yeah.
Yep. It looks like the Polo Show. Chris, you are the winner. Whoa. Thanks, but we don't want none. Freaking spammers. Yeah, congratulations, Chris. You won the signed Diamador Lenore card. If you just DM me your address, I'll get it sent out when I do the mail day. Congratulations. And we'll do one more giveaway before we end the show for another random.
Okay. When everybody start putting their numbers in?
Yeah, you guys can go ahead and start now. All
right, you guys start putting your numbers in. I'm gonna get off the screen real quick.
Okay. So yeah, everybody drop your numbers. We'll do one more random giveaway before we close it out. I'm so excited for training camp to finally start. Any of you guys are going to be there? I wish I lived in California for these times.
Do you?
Yeah, so I could actually be able to go to training camp and all that.
Oh. Yeah. Me, a person who pretty much born and raised in California, I don't think I'd ever move back. Yeah. I think if I moved back to California, it would be to San Diego only, because that city is gorgeous, it's beautiful in San Diego.
Yeah, I love it there.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm going there for Labor Day.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice.
I hate Cali. I used to live there. Niner by nature.
Yeah, I would never want to live there just because it's so expensive.
So expensive and
I wish
high taxes.
Live closer to be able to do stuff like that. I had saw earlier that Trent Williams had flown Poe to training camp to California on his private jet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like, that's cool. Stepping up. And remember, he like talked so great about Poe too. So I wonder if like they've been working out together and shit.
Maybe. That dude's so athletic. Like it should be illegal to be how fluid he runs and stuff for being what 6'1", 310 or whatever he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that video that's going around from Diana Rossini talking about that? She talked about she stole my line, just so everybody knows. I said that first. Now she's national media, so you know she makes headlines and everybody wants to share it. She's stealing my shit. I'm the one that brought up that moving your new spouse in with your ex. Then she says it. And yeah. But yeah, she had said, I guess, that she had got a text message from her source or whatever saying, like, you know, like, Jimmy's gone. Like, Trey is our guy. I don't know how many other ways I have to tell you, you know, or that we can tell you, you know, like, and that's the thing. Like, the team, you know, had been looking for a trade partner this whole time. Kyle made that clear, you know, and then everybody's still, oh, well, they're still keeping him. So blah, blah. Now the team even gave him and his team permission, you know, Jimmy's people permission to go seek a trade, to go find a trade partner because they obviously couldn't find one. Yep. And oh no, he's still going to be there. It's like, what more does the team have to freaking do? You know, like I understand, yeah, cut Jimmy and it'll solve it all, but you know, obviously we don't see that happening right now. But yeah, like there's nothing more they could possibly tell these people.
I honestly think he's not getting. If we don't find a trade partner, he's not going to get cut to the last minute. I think they're going to wait, and I think, you know, I don't know what date it is. It's like August 31st or whatever is the last date to have your final 53 man turned in. I think that's not when you're going to see him gone until we find a trade partner. Because, like we said, he's not getting a trade partner unless he agrees to sign an extension. Ain't no way somebody's signing him 1 year for $25 million. I'm sorry, that's not happening. But the fact of the matter is, what sucks is that the fact that he's looking for a trade partner means he has to pass a physical, means he's healthy, so he can be cut right now, and we don't have to worry about nothing. But it is what it is.
You know, and I'll give you guys a couple more minutes. Everybody, make sure you drop your numbers if you haven't already. We saw the Browns sign old what's his nuts this week.
Josh Rosen.
Yeah, Josh Rosen as their fourth quarterback. So that, you know, shores up the signs that, you know, Jimmy's not going there. Because now they have, you know, if Watson gets suspended or whatever, they have what's his face to start and now two backup quarterbacks behind him. Like what they would need.
Going to be the starter, right? Yeah.
So, you know, that's obviously Jimmy's not going to be going there.
Yeah.
So that takes now the Panthers are out of it. Now the Browns are out of it. So rumors came out this week about the Falcons about trading for him. I don't know about that.
Yeah. They got 3 quarterbacks on their roster right now too. But that guy, that Frank's guy or whatever his name is, I don't think he's going to make their roster. He's probably a camp body. Felipe Franks, whatever his name is, from Arkansas. But yeah, I think honestly his best destination would probably be Houston. Him and Davis Mills can battle it out or whatever the case may be. But I like Davis Mills. I think he's pretty good. So I don't know. I think honestly, if he's cut, I see suitors, just because, you know, we can sit here and say all we want. In my opinion, I don't know about everybody else, he is a decent quarterback who I don't think is a great starter, but he's a serviceable starter that, you know, that would be, I think, a really good backup. Like somebody come in and win you some games. But yeah, for a trade partner, it has to be an extension involved. I just can't see any other way somebody takes him for that salary. Like I said, I just think that they're going to wait. And like I think you said it before, like there's no way that we're sitting here thinking or hoping somebody, you know, has an injury, because that's not how we roll on this show. Like we're not going to be like, oh, I hope there's an injury somewhere and Jimmy can go, because that's not how we get down. But I think the team as a whole is probably like, well, you know, it's training camp coming up. There's always something that happens. Then we have preseason games, and if somebody's not looking as good as they think or whatever, there might be a trade. But yeah, I think we're holding on to him till right before week 1, and then he'll be gone, and then we won't have to worry about that $7.5 million, because of, like I said, the fact that they told Donnie to find a trade partner, you don't say that because you have to pass a physical, so that means that you're healthy. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Yep. It's definitely going to be interesting.
Polo. Kevin Durant might have a new team before Jimmy. I know this is not an NBA show, but I feel like that Rudy Gobert trade ruined everything. Now these teams are asking for outrage. I'm an Orlando Magic fan, right? So they were sitting here because we have a lot of assets and we have 5 draft picks over the next 5 years, right? And then the fact that Rudy Gobert got traded for like 4 players and 5 first-round picks, like Rudy Gobert we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on the man. He is a great center on defense. But when I saw what the Nets were asking for Kevin Durant, they wanted Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Derek White, and then like 3 first.
Yeah.
Stop it. Get out of here.
It's crazy. All right, we're drawn.
All right, let me go to the numbers here.
94.
Ooh, the high one. Oh my God! Don't tell me he won again. JV put 96.
That's funny.
JV, if I ever meet you, I'm just gonna buy you a beer on GP, man. Just because you win so many of our giveaways, it's ridiculous.
I'm gonna rub your belly. Maybe you're like the freaking Lucky Buddha or something. Shit.
Yeah, I'm not doing all that. Go ahead and do your thing, Miriah.
If it'll make me win, like I need to win the lottery, I'll rub your ass if it'll make me win some lottery. But it has to be bald. It can't be no hairy butt cheek. It's a bald butt cheek. Congrats,
I have
JV.
a feeling feeling he ain't bald.
Let's see what you win. So, this is a San Francisco Giants card because it's a card that I can't put in the box. So that tells you he won something good already. You won this. Brand new to the box this week, and he already took it away. Brandon Eyuk with a patch jersey in it. Turn on a real light.
Okay.
So Brandon Eyuk jersey patch blitz card. Very nice card. Congratulations, JV. Might as well just send the whole box to your ass now, so don't have to even worry about doing all this.
He probably got his address memorized.
Yeah. They keep been winning stuff since this channel started.
Yeah, it's a nice card, too.
Yep.
Is there anybody in the chat that has any other questions?
And again, we appreciate you guys all for being here. As always.
We love you too, JV. We love you all. You guys are all amazing. And I'm not saying it just to say it either. Like, I mean every word.
All right. You guys don't have any more questions. On the way to the Giants game right now, unfortunately.
They got swept by the Dodgers, and now they're saying they're the front runners for the Juan Soto guy, who's a beast. If the Dodgers get him, I might not even watch anymore.
If the Dodgers get him, you guys are never going to hear the end of it.
Oh
I'm going to be celebrating forever.
I'm going to be sick to my stomach if the Dodgers get that dude.
I hope they do. The Giants, they're not going to be standing a chance for a long time.
You might find me missing if that happens.
So if they lose to the D-backs tonight, I'm going to lose it. They just might.
Yeah.
Driving and I switched lanes across 2 lanes. Don't be getting into an accident. Then your wife will get the cards because you won't even be there to get them.
Yeah.
She'll be collecting all your goods. All right, everybody.
All righty. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Yeah.
Wednesday, we're on with Dion on his channel, Niner Gang Podcast at 4 Pacific Standard Time. Mm-hmm. Make sure you guys come over there and hang out with us. And then on Friday, we're on No Border Sports with Ryan and Waruna. So at what time? 6:30, I think.
6:30 Pacific time, or
Standard
yeah.
Time on Friday. So
So
make sure you guys come hang out with us over there. Go subscribe to those guys. And we'll see you guys next week on this channel. Everybody stay safe. We appreciate you guys all for hanging out with us tonight.
All right, fam. You guys all be safe out there.